You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. You check as I'm chess, what's happening next? He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place. I wanna be first, work till it hurts. Dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot. You got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. You check as I'm chess, what's happening next? He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will.
What up, Fin fans? Welcome to another episode of the Fin Posse Podcast. This is brought to you by Game Changers Media. I'm your host, Big C. How is everybody doing on this beautiful, beautiful Thursday morning? How's everybody doing? Is today Thursday or Wednesday? I'd be lost. Sorry. Wednesday morning. How is everybody doing on this beautiful Wednesday morning? I be getting so eager for the weekend. I don't know why. Nothing extra special happens for me on the weekend. But yeah, how's everybody doing on this beautiful Wednesday morning? Good morning, Damien. How are you doing today? What up? How's everybody doing? Give a few minutes here. Sorry I be posting the thumbnail and the stuff don't be up ahead of time so you guys know that the show is coming. But know that Big C will be here. Maybe it'll be a few minutes late, you know. What up, Shake Money? Yeah, I mean, people that work that Monday through Friday thing, you know, I'm sure they work. They can't wait till Friday. Good morning, Shake. How you doing this morning, brother? Morning. So, last night I was on with TD, Miss Phins, and CB83. Y'all know that crew over at the AFC East Roundtable Dolphins edition. We was chatting it up last night. And of course you got what CB calls the wolf pack, the people that the people that are Tua haters or just not very positive about the team, I'd say, for the most part. If I have to say what a Wolfpacker would be in the eyes of CB83, is people that aren't very positive about the team, that have no hope for this team. They just think that we should tear it down, that this team isn't worth a damn, and we need to move in a new direction. I'm all right, Shake. You know, I'm doing, things are getting busier. The channel continues to grow. I'm continuing to try to put out good content. I'm trying to, you know, just keep growing. I just love talking Dolphin football with everybody. And I wish the season would hurry up and get here, because, you know, I'm excited for that. But, you know, we got the combine starting tomorrow. That's the first start. That's the first step in a new season. And I can't wait. I'm in the wolf pack because I love Brian Flores. Listen, Brian Flores, I think, was a good coach for us. I do. I have mixed opinions on Brian Flores. I think Brian Flores, if he could have just, you know, people will say you have two ways to look at it. Brian Flores, you can say he's a man of integrity and, you know, he did the right thing. He has morals that he stood by, and he did what he thought was best. But as a fan of the Miami Dolphins, I find it hard to be a fan of Brian Flores, because maybe he was a good coach. Maybe Brian Flores was a good coach, but he hurt this team. Brian Flores set this team back. He hurt this team much more than he helped it. First off, you were the head coach when we drafted Tua Tagovailoa. You showed him no support that first year. I don't care if you were a fan of Tua's or not. You're supposed to do what's best for this football team. The way you treated Tua was absolutely ridiculous, unfair. It was not Tua's fault that he got drafted by the Miami Dolphins. It was not Tua's fault that he was drafted by the Miami Dolphins. Brian Flores was unwilling to give Tua a shot. You're mad that we drafted Tua, yet you weren't willing to do what the team wanted you to do. And, you know, you can have different thoughts about it, but teams lose games on purpose all the time. Teams tank all the time. Brian Flores was unwilling to tank so this organization could have an opportunity at drafting Joe Burrow. And then he goes and gets himself fired because he didn't want to do what the organization wanted him to do. And he goes and snitches, which costs us valuable draft picks. He wouldn't go meet Tom Brady on the boat. We had an opportunity to have time. Like, you were mad that we had Tua, but you weren't willing to do the necessary things to get a different quarterback here. So as far as Brian Flores goes, listen, he did a lot with a little. He won a bunch of games with a bad team. But the Brian Flores, to me, set this team back in a lot of ways, and I'm not a huge Brian Flores guy. I gotta admit, I'm not a huge Brian Flores guy. So I knew Webb's thoughts on Hill before you interviewed him. I wanted to see how you took it, as it's the counter to you. I thought you handled your personal feelings well in the interview. I appreciate that, Scotty. Listen, I respect what Mr. Webb said 100%. And I understand. And I went back and forth in the comments with a fan yesterday about Tyreek, and he had very opposite feelings that I did. And I can respect everybody's feelings on Tyreek. If you don't want Tyreek here because of the things he's done, I understand that. And I respect it. I respect it. So maybe my thumbnail and maybe the topic of my show the other day was a little off. It was a little misleading because I can respect it, but at the same time, this team is not a better team without Tyreek on it. There's no way that you can tell me it is. I mean, Tyreek's the best player on this team. And Mr. Richmond Webb also said that Tyreek is not just one of the best players on the Miami Dolphins. He's one of the best players in the league. And again, I think, you can say that Tyreek's not sorry, is sorry, that he's not being genuine. I think Tyreek did not mean the things he said. I think Tyreek took advantage of a situation that Mike McDaniel has created. Mike McDaniel has created such a lax atmosphere for the Miami Dolphins that allows Tyreek to be Tyreek. So I think Mike McDaniel has a lot of blame in this. I think if Mike McDaniel was more of a coach like Andy Reid, Tyreek wouldn't be acting the way he does. The sitting out the second half of the game, listen, I get it. I get it, and I don't support it. He went about it the wrong way. I just don't know if that's enough to throw away a whole season. I don't know if it's enough to throw away this whole season, because if you lose Tyreek Hill, our season goes up in smoke with it. It does. It does. We're not going to get anything that can replace Tyreek Hill this year. So, and we all know that Tyreek's not long for this team anyway. So what's, we ride him one more year and then he's out the door anyway. I would just much rather rock out this year, try to win as many games as we can, be as good as we can, and have a successful season as the Miami Dolphins. He only said something because Miami was slammed his name. If Dolphins didn't say anything about him, he would have stayed quiet. I mean, I think he was upset that he got fired. But again, you didn't do what the team needed you to do. Like, he should have just lost those games. We'd have Joe Burrow right now. We wouldn't be dealing with the quarterback issues that we're dealing with. It's funny that not playing in meaningless games is the straw. Yeah, I mean, Tyreek does what he does on the outside, and you cannot like him as a human being. I'm not in love with the person that he is off the field, but what he does off the field I don't overly care about that. I care about what he does on Sundays. And on Sundays, he's the most dynamic player that this franchise has ever seen. I try not to hold people accountable for the things they do off the field. I mean, if you're out robbing old ladies and beating your wife and stuff, absolutely. And I mean, there's been instances that Tyreek's been accused of those things. Again, I'm not a fan of necessarily who he is as a person. I'm just a fan of the football player. It all comes down to, I just want what's best for the Miami Dolphins. I want what's best for the Miami Dolphins. I want to see the Miami Dolphins win. That's what it really comes down to, Scotty and Shake. That I just want to see them win. I think that taking Tyreek away from this team takes losses out the win column. It takes wins out the win column. It makes it that more difficult for us to have a successful season. Because this is where people will disagree with me, is that I still have a bunch of confidence that this team has a very high ceiling. Now, do we need a million things to go right? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I still think this team has a super high ceiling. That's why I'm so against getting rid of Tyreek. If I thought that we were could be a fringe playoff team, or that we weren't going to make the playoffs or this or that, I'd be like, all right, ship Tyreek out. He's done enough. I've seen enough. But I really believe that if we fix this offensive line, we add a couple pieces to the defensive line and the secondary, that we can, and Tua can stay healthy, this team can be a really successful team. I truly believe that. I truly believe that if we fix the offensive line, that gets our offense back to being a top 10 unit. I think if we can add a top-notch defensive tackle and some decent our safeties, that we can win playoff games if Tua can stay healthy. I take you back to the 2023 season. We had a 4 or 5 game lead on Buffalo with 6 weeks left. And then we ended up damn near losing the division to Buffalo, having to travel to Kansas City, and we lost in freezing cold weather. This team can be better than that team. And the only reason we lost those games at the end of the season, the only reason that the Buffalo Bills were able to catch us and we got sent to Kansas City instead of having a home playoff game, is because we just got depleted by injuries at the end of the year. We don't know the true impact of Hill in the locker room from all the negative. If the team can work through it, okay, keep him. But if he's impacting in ways we can't see, then we are better without him. Absolutely, Scotty. Absolutely. I can agree with that 100%. I assume that the locker room sees Tyreek and the effort that he gives, that I hear that he gives in practice, the effort that he gives in ball games, that people can forgive him. But if the guys in the locker room can't forgive him and can't let bygones be bygones, absolutely got to move them. There's no way that you keep Tyreek Hill if the majority of the locker room can't accept him. So I agree with that. Scotty. You're right. After listening to actual player like Webb, I can't assume that. Yeah, I mean, I took that from Mr. Webb too. I took the exact thing what you're saying from Mr. Webb, and I thought long and hard about it. But again, Richmond Webb doesn't know Tyreek. He doesn't know what type of relationship Tyreek has with his teammates. I mean, Tyreek is a very sociable person. So I gotta believe that he's probably cool with a lot of his teammates. But we shall see. Again, if it's an issue where the team is not happy with Tyreek and they're not cool with it, by all means, they gotta move on from him. Regardless of how talented he is, if the team can't accept him and they're not okay with Tyreek, then we got to move on. I can agree to that. Hold on, I gotta take this hoodie off. It's hot in here. Yeah, I mean, if the team can't accept it, then we got to move on. I got a question. Doug yesterday on his video looked at our cap space. We have 700K something. See, I don't. That's the thing with the salary cap. The Teron Armstead. We'll get into Teron Armstead renegotiated his contract to take the minimum. Which his contract was at, he was set to make 28.6 million this season. The move creates around 14 million in cap space for us. So we was at $1 million in cap space already. So I mean, if we add 14 onto that, we should be about 15 million available. So I don't know where this salary cap thing is wild to me. It's wild because it's hard to come up with an exact number. So I mean, Teron Armstead, he notifies the team that he's going to take the minimum at his position. What's this mean for Teron Armstead and the Miami Dolphins? What's this mean for Teron Armstead and the Miami Dolphins? So he took this reduced salary, so Miami has flexibility to make moves in free agency while he molds his future. But what I think this means for Teron Armstead, I think he's probably leaning towards retiring. I think Teron Armstead's probably leaning towards retiring. At the very least, I think he's probably done in Miami. From what Mike McDaniel's press conference yesterday, he said that they're moving along under the assumption that Teron's not going to be here. So all the writing's on the wall that Teron's not going to be returning to the team. I mean, I hope that something changes. I hope something changes where we can work out a new deal with him and backload the contract. Because I mean, with Teron not on this team, and you can argue that, you know, Teron has missed a lot of games. He's missed a lot of games. But Teron has been excellent when he has played. And last year he started 15 games. He probably only finished around 13. But he started 15 games for us. He had his best stat game of his time here in Miami. So when he was on the field, he was a very good player for us. So I mean, if Teron Armstead doesn't return, that's another hole on this team. That's another hole on this team. And I know that we got Patrick Paul. We drafted him in the second round last year. I know we got Patrick Paul. But how confident are you guys in Patrick Paul? Armstead cut his base salary the vet minimum. Yep. It's a stand-up move. It allows us to save a post-June destination. Yep. His retirement will be processed post-June now that the cap hit is already reduced. Yeah, absolutely, Scotty. He absolutely did us a favor. But I hope that he decides to play. I really do. I'm not positive. I don't feel great about Patrick Paul. I don't know if that's the answer. An online guy from Chargers did it last year. I'm forgetting his name. Yeah, was it Lindsey? Was it Lindsey, their center? What's going on, Steve? Yeah, I mean, I believe that Armstead's going to retire too. I mean, how emotional he got in the games that he couldn't finish last year. I think, yeah, maybe it was Scotty. Um, I think he's going to retire too. But how confident are you in? How confident are you in Patrick Paul? How confident are you in Patrick Paul that Patrick Paul could take over for Teron Armstead and do a good job? Because I feel like this could, you got Stanley from Baltimore that's a free agent. You got Stanley from Baltimore that's a free agent. Do you go and throw a boatload of money at him now? This changes up a bunch of things for us. Like whatever cap space that we were going to open up, we didn't expect to have to spend it on a left tackle. Thank you, Irving. I appreciate that. Thank you. Scotty says, I'm confident in Paul. I've been very vocal supporting him since the draft. I mean, he didn't grade out very good last year, Scotty. He didn't. I'm guessing we're probably going to see. I don't see us going to spend a bunch of money on left tackle Stanley. They drafted him in the second round for a reason. We just got to hope that he can, he can stand up. But I don't feel confident in a second rounder that didn't grade out very well, protecting our injury prone quarterback. I get it. I get it. PFF is kind of garbage, but I just don't feel super confident with an unproven guy protecting our injury prone quarterback. I just don't. Well, hopefully you're right, Scotty. Hopefully you're right, Scotty. Kelvin Banks Jr. Yeah, I mean, he can play tackle or guard. That would be a nice pick. I just don't know how confident I am. A lot of these tackles that are in the draft, the top two tackles, Campbell and Banks, I've seen that they're projected maybe better inside than outside, which makes me nervous. This draft is very deep at players that are very good at the guard position. I don't know if it's very deep at players that are good at the tackle position. What up, Elwood? What up? So what contract restructures do you think we are going to do next? Well, they're definitely going to try to figure out what they're doing with Chubb. Chubb's probably the next piece to fall, I'd say. Banks will be a guard, but I'm a pinch, can play a game or two at left tackle. Yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like even Campbell's probably the one that's more likely to play tackle, but I feel like all these tackles in this year's draft are better projected at guard. Yeah, I mean, Chubb, what choice does Chubb have? Chubb can go and test the free agent market. He can. But let's be real. You're coming off a year where you didn't even play. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to give you this huge contract. You might as well take a reduced salary and stay with us. Scotty says, my money is Ramsey's restructured next. Hey, it could. I mean, Damian, if he doesn't restructure, we're definitely releasing him. We're gonna do a post June 1st release. We're gonna do that right away though, so that opens up another huge chunk of money for us. The big question is whether Miami touches the contracts of Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill. Do they touch those contracts? I'd rather have Armand Membu over Kelvin Banks. Membu has a higher ceiling and he can play right guard and right tackle. He can step in at right tackle if Jackson gets hurt again. We don't miss a beat at right tackle. Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing good things about him. See, with someone like him, I feel like he's your favorite at 13. I feel like we could trade back a little bit and get him. Obviously, not too far back, but I think that we could trade back a little bit and get him. Maybe 17, 18. Maybe a team wants a certain player, wants to move up. God, please don't restructure Tua. We will have him 2 more years. I mean, it would make it more difficult for us to get rid of him, Damian, but not impossible. Not impossible. Again, in 2028, the NFL will redo their deal, and Netflix is going to create a bidding war for the Sunday afternoon games. And don't be surprised in 2028, 2029 season that the salary cap doesn't go up $100 million. So for people that push those contracts into the future, make those void years into the future, there's going to be plenty of cap room. Do you guys like Will Fries at right guard for us? I absolutely like Will Fries. I think he's a ascending player for the Indianapolis Colts. He dealt with some injuries last year, but every year he's been in the league, he's gotten better and better and better. He's still young. He can be a player on this team for a long time. I like Will Fries. My perfect free agency haul would be Will Fries and Mekhi Becton at the 2 guard positions. I love that. Depends on how much Fries want. Would you be willing to pay 4 years, 60 million? 4 years, 60 million. What's that? 15 million a year. That's on the high side for Fries. I see it. I mean, ESPN did their contract projections anywhere from 9 million to 15 at the high end. I think he'd be like more like a 13 million a year just because he's coming off the injury. I want Fries and Makari for us. Draft a O line in the draft. Absolutely. We still take an offensive lineman, just not super high in the draft. But Fries and Makari will be good for us. 39 million cap hit in 2025 and 55 to 56 million cap hit in 2026. 14 to 17 for Fries. A lot of teams want him. He won't make more than people think. I mean, it could get that high. It depends. It really does depend. It's supply and demand. It really is. What up, Sack Man? You play right guard or right tackle. You can trade down in the first round, get more draft capital. Yeah, I think Fries cashes in. Yeah, I mean, we shall listen. It all depends. It all depends. We'll have to see. That's the thing that sucks is having to wait on it. We can only assume. But I would love to have Will Fries. Sure, we might go out there and spend 15, 16 million on him though. I know we're definitely out on Trey Smith. They're saying Trey Smith is projected at 24 million a year. Absolutely crazy. I mean, he's a great guard, but we're definitely not going after him. We're definitely not going after Trey Smith. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we're probably going to rock out with Patrick Paul at the tackle position. I think we definitely got to add at least one guard in free agency. I'm seeing a lot of members at 13. Makes a lot of sense. Let's pop up a little mocky draft while we're sitting here. Shit. What the hell happened? Let's see. Money in the bank. Oh. I gotta get me a mouse. So many damn pop-ups on all these apps. Okay. Oh. Okay. Let's do a mocky draft, dummy draft. So we gotta assume that we address the offensive line to a point, either one or two guards. Do we all right. Enter draft. Start draft. As he takes the dual Carter in real life. Cam Ward, number 2, the Cleveland. That'd be out the. I want to be Travis Hunter to the Giants. I don't think that's him then either. Will Campbell to the Patriots. I could see that. I think they go with Graham, though. Yeah, Mason Graham. Shador to the Raiders. Burden to the Jets. Pierce Jr. to the Panthers. Shamir Stewart. I feel like that's high for him. Kevin Banks to the Bears. Gentry to the Cowboys. I see that. So we're on the clock. And they drafted for us. I didn't do that. Sorry. Son of a. Oh, Jesus. All right. I clicked on the Dolphins. Just like I did last time. Enter draft. Start draft. Hopefully, here we go. Shador Sanders, number 1. That's not. Cam Ward, number 2. Trevor, Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, McMillan, Graham, Pierce, Will Johnson, Banks. Oh, they took your boy. They took your boy. So the Colts, this was just a move up one spot. So obviously with that. I mean, Liking us to trade back to 24 and give us their pick one round 5 in their first round next year. Cleveland wants to give us pick one round 2, pick one next year. They give us a bunch of picks next year, which I mean, none of those make sense. None of those make sense for us. I'm just going to give us all that to move, but I don't feel like this is a very likely draft the way it went. Warp speed. So if draft like this, who you looking at? I mean, we can offer a trade. So the best offensive lineman available: Josh Simmons, Gray Zabel, Wyatt. I like Wyatt too. Defensive line, you got Michael Williams, Walter Nolan. You got on the top linebackers. Do you consider Barron here at the corner? We definitely need a corner. You know Chris Greer likes his corner. Simmons is a tackle only. He's an injury last year. I really don't want him. Warren, I wouldn't take a tight end. I know he's supposed to be this great tight end. I just don't see it. Emma Ward. We definitely need a corner. But we need that offensive line too. Go in a corner is what we've always done, building from the outside. Baron Starks is bold. I still think we have to address the trenches. I still think you address the trenches here. Going defensive back in the first round is what we always do. What we've always done. Corner, wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like we need in the trenches, and I know we need a corner. I do. I know we do. I know we need I know we need safeties. So do we address the trenches, or do we go on the outside? You guys know. Let's see. Um, 33rd. See if we can trade out a little bit. Oh. Let's try it again. I don't want to go fourth rounder. Do you scroll down for this? Traffics. All right, there we go. Go. 7th. All right. Damn it. We're just gonna go offensive line, and I mean, unless you guys think we go defensive line, offense or defense. This thing is being stupid today. What the freak? This shit is making my shit crash. Sorry, folks. This is like making my computer crash. What the Sorry, that shit was messing with my whole computer. It was making my whole thing crash. So maybe we'll do it tomorrow. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, how the draft would have played out anyway. I think Membru's going to be there at 13. Honestly, I do. So, I mean, if you guys think that's our best bet. We still there? Sorry about that, folks. Had a little mishap. Computer just that site just flipped my thing out. Maybe gotta find another mock draft site. Jesus. I apologize about that, folks. So embarrassing. So embarrassing. I feel horrible. Jesus. See, a lot of people are criticizing, are saying that 13's too high to go on a guard or a tackle. Well, at least a guard. Do you guys feel that way? I feel like, hey, if you need the player, you go and you get them. You know what I mean? Would it be nice to trade back and get a top notch guard? Absolutely. Pick up more draft capital. But then again, you trading back, you take the risk of losing out on the players that you want. You know what I mean? There's lots of instances where there goes a run on certain positions, and then next thing you know, you're not getting your guy. So I'd rather take the guy that we want at 13 and make sure we get him than to possibly miss out on him. I'm gonna have to watch some more tape on Membu. Is that how you say his name, Membu? NFL Draft Buzz. NFL Draft Buzz. Is that how you say his name is Membu? Let's see. Offensive lineman. So let's see. He's 6'4", 332 pounds. So he's got great size. 4.9040. Let's see. Super athletic. Masterful body control allows him to mirror pass rushers when unusual fluidity. Stays balanced throughout contact and shows sophisticated understanding of leverage points and pass protection. Brings serious pop on initial contact with powerful independent hand strikes. Regularly stuns defenders and can anchor against bull rushers, despite giving up height to most edge players. Processes stunts and blitzes with veteran savvy. That's good. Demonstrates high-end athletic traits, translates directly to the field, changes direction smoothly in space, and shows rare closing bursts when climbing to second-level targets. Showing that burst getting to the second level is very important for Mike McDaniel's running scheme. Nasty finisher who looks to bury defenders once he locks on. That's that dog mentality we're looking for. Quick football mover who excels at reaching and sealing defenders on outside zone runs. Lateral agility and explosiveness make him a perfect fit for modern running schemes. Shows advanced feet for varying his pass sets and hand usage. Keeps rushers guessing with multiple approaches rather than filling in predictable patterns. So let's say we add a top-notch guy like Will Fries, and then we go ahead and draft Armand with the 13th pick in the draft. Do you feel like an offensive line with Patrick Paul, Armand, Brewer, Will Fries, and Jackson is a top 10 unit in this league? Do you feel confident going into next season with that as your offensive line? And let's throw Isaiah Wynn in as a backup piece. Do you guys feel confident in that as your offensive line next year? I think with that offensive line, that does wonders for this team. I think that opens up the rushing lanes. I think teams are going to have to respect our run, and then that opens up the passing game. People don't understand how much the run opens up the passing game. When you can successfully run the ball, defenses got to start bringing them safeties up. They got to start creeping them linebackers up. And that allows teams not to run them two deep safeties against us. That was a major problem why we couldn't get the ball downfield last year is the two deep safeties. They didn't respect our run. They didn't respect the run. So I think this offense, again, this is why I'm not eager to get rid of Tyreek Hill as some people are. Because I think if we were to make those adjustments on the offensive line, I think this team gets back to being a top 10 offensive unit. And I think if we can get Chubb back on a reduced contract, we can get Jalen Phillips back healthy with the addition of Chop last year, and hopefully he can continue to grow and become a better player. If we can find some safeties, and I think we can find a safety in the draft, and I think we can get a safety in free agency at a decent price. They got to be better than Jordan Poyer. We got to find another corner. I don't understand why we released Fuller. I really don't. I think that was a dumb move on our part. Fuller played pretty well for us. I'm really hoping Chris Greer doesn't go cornerback in the first round. I really don't. But I think another year in Weaver's system, I think this defense can be really good. And again, if we go back to the year 2023, we had that division locked up. But people don't realize how many injuries we had down the stretch. All they can think about is that we lost the games and we just choked. No, it wasn't us choking. We didn't have the team to continue winning. We had so many injuries that year. We didn't have a good team by the end of the year. Xavier Howard out. He missed the last bunch of games because of his foot. Javon Holland missed a bunch of games because of his knees. We had no pass rushers. None. Remember, we had no pass rushers, not one. Van Ginkel was out for the year. Chubb was out for the year. Phillips was out for the year. Good was out for the year. We didn't have a single pass rusher. Our offensive line, although good when they were all together, they weren't all together very often. Isaiah Wynn missed a bunch of games. Connor missed a bunch of games. Armstead missed a bunch of games. Hunt missed a bunch of games. If that team could have been even semi-healthy, we would have never lost the division to the Buffalo Bills. We would have never went to Kansas City in that cold-ass weather game. We would have had a home playoff game, and chances are we would have won a playoff game. I really, truly believe we would have won a playoff game, and we'd be in a lot different position than we are right now. But I still got confidence. Either this year's going to go really good or this year's going to go really bad. Either we come out strong and play good football and everybody gets on the same page, or we come out and we shit the bed and Tua gets hurt and before you know it, you got players giving up, and Mike McDaniel completely loses the locker room, and then all hell breaks loose. If you create more cap space, you can extend Zach Sealer, who has 12.47 million cap hit in 2025. I think we do that. I really do. I think they rework Zach Sealer's contract, which can reduce his 12.47 cap number to 6.57 million in 2025. Yeah, Chris Greer's gonna listen. Chris Greer's gonna make a ton of cap space. I have all the faith in the world in that. I just don't have faith that he's gonna do it the right way. As soon as we lost Connor, I felt the season was over. Yeah, Scotty. People will point out that we had a good offensive line and how many rushing yards and how many rushing touchdowns we had. Yeah, we did, and we were very successful that year. But people don't realize that how devastated we were by injuries on that offensive line that year. How devastated we were by injuries with our pass rushers. People don't get it. And they say everybody deals with injuries. And you're right, they do. But not to such key positions that we had. Like, name another team that lost every one of their pass rushers. Name another team that their whole offensive line was hurt. Yeah, I absolutely agree. You extend Sealer, you extend Janu. I'm not confident that Chris Greer doesn't touch to his contract. I'm not confident that he doesn't touch Tyreek's contract. Maybe they go and restructure Jalen Waddle's contract. We had one O-line starter left, and we're calling guys off the street to play defense. Yeah, Scotty, that's what we were left with at the end of the year. And people will put it on Tua. And like Tua deserves a lot of blame. Don't get me wrong. Tua deserves a lot of blame for a lot of things. And again, like I said last night on the AFC East roundtable, they're sitting there contemplating whether Tua's good enough to be the starting quarterback, this and that, this and that. I said it's no longer about that. It's no longer about whether Tua's good enough. It's the fact that Tua can't stay healthy. That's the biggest thing now. It's not even about how good he is. But everybody will put them losses on Tua. Everybody will put that season collapse on Tua. They don't understand that our offensive line was shot, our pass rush was gone, that two of our top three secondary players were gone, that Tyreek Hill had been dealing with an ankle injury and hadn't been the same player since that Tennessee Titan game where he got horse collared. Tyreek was on pace for 2,000 yards, so that Titans game where he got horse collared, and he wasn't the same player after that. His ankle was all jacked up. He wasn't the same player. I'm restructuring Brooks and Brewer. They are two pieces. Yeah, absolutely. They're two pieces that I would extend too. There's lots of moves that Chris Greer can make. And, there's the two looming moves that he can make them and create a shit ton of space. But they're just not what's best for the future of this team. But again, I'll say it over and over and over and over. Chris Greer is not concerned with the future of this team. Chris Greer is concerned with this season and keeping his job. So I wouldn't put anything past him. The problem about restructuring Jalen Waddles is that his new contract extension hasn't kicked in yet. Since he's still on his 5th-year option of his rookie contract, the numbers, yeah, you're right, Irving. If Greer gets thirsty enough, if he touches Tua's contract, that opens up $19 million for us just with that. Yeah, Irving, you might understand the cap a little bit better than I do. Like the salary cap is a tricky thing. It really is. And this is my first year really diving into it. You would think that you have a certain amount of money to spend. Once you spend that money, you're shit out of luck. But the fact that these teams are able to create void years and turn things into signing bonuses and do this and do that, it becomes really, really, really complicated. I believe Mike McDaniel is on the hot seat. Greer is a savior. Listen, I think they're both on the hot seat. And people will debate whether Greer's really on the hot seat. I mean, I think people will say that Greer has Greer's in a position that he might get replaced at general manager, but he'll still have a place in this organization because he's a Stephen Ross guy, which I mean, I can't debate that. Irving hates Tua and Mario. Greer must restructure Tua because those salary numbers for Tua and it was a 6-star freaking nightmare. Brooks Brewer and AJ on the main restructured contracts that will open up 20 plus million. Yeah, so there goes another 20 million. Like Mario and Luigi, like the video game Mario. Yeah, I mean, listen, again, if we make the right moves in free agency in the draft and Tua can stay healthy, I have confidence that this football team can be successful next year. I have confidence that this football team can be good this year. I think we can duplicate what we did in 2023. And if we can stay healthy, we have an opportunity to beat the Buffalo Bills in the AFC East this year. I think we can win this division. And I think we can, we can go and win a playoff game. And then shoot, maybe we get lucky and win a second, and then before you know it, we find ourselves in the AFC Championship game. And is that wishful thinking, hopeful thoughts? Absolutely. But damn it, I seen in 2023 how good we looked, how good we were, and I think we can bring some of that magic back. I really do. We just got to make the right moves. We don't need the rush to a restructure because we have space pre-draft free agency. So Greer needs to slow roll, make the right decision after the draft. Scotty, I absolutely agree. I just don't know if Greer sees this big name free agent that he wants and he's thirsty for, that he don't go and make that move. We know that Greer loves them big splashy play moves. We know he likes them. We know he likes them. I'm really concerned what we do at corner. I don't want to take a corner in the first round of the draft, but I feel like that's going to be the thing that happens. I feel like that's going to be the thing that happens. That Chris Greer goes and takes a corner in the first round of the draft. Jonnu extension, Brewer extensions would quickly help too. I just feel like that's what is likely to happen. Even though he finally admitted that we got to address this offensive line, and there is some top-notch guards there. There's some difference-making guards that we can get. They can turn this offensive line around, and I hope he doesn't mess it up. I really don't. Because I think we can I think we can have a chance to put a winner together on the field this year. And I'm not ready to give up on this team completely yet. I'm not ready to give up on them completely yet. Irving, these are my 5 moves. Extend Sealer and Johnu. Restructure Brewer, Brooks, and AJ. That's $33 million plus in cap space, and we don't rush on Tua, Chubb, or Hill. So that's 33 added on to what we got right now. I had used $50 million when I did the mock free agency, and I don't know if 50 million is enough. I think we're going to have to get more than that. Now, I do think that we sign a lot of 1-year contracts at $3 million to fill out the roster. I mean, look, we got Calais back. We got Calais for a deal like that last year. So there are good players that you can get after free agency, after June 1st at discounted prices. But I don't know if 50 mil is going to cut it with as many holes as we have. We have to get a legit backup quarterback. We definitely need that. We definitely need that because I don't feel confident that Tua is playing 17 games. We went into last year's free agency with 20 million. Yeah, but we didn't have as many holes, did we? I don't feel like we had as many holes. I mean, we needed a center last year. They didn't want to address the guard positions. They didn't have to address the tackle positions. They went out and got Jordan Poyer pretty cheap. They went out and got Calais cheap. They went out and got Brooks and Walker. And Fuller. Yeah, I don't feel like there was as many big time needs. Scotty, the Dolphins need to hire you then, brother. They need to hire you in the money department. Well, I mean, they're going to touch Chubb at some point. It's not realistic that Chubb stays on at his current contract. Now we replaced 44% of the roster last year too. Did we? Doesn't seem like that much, right? Yeah, I mean, I guess if you take away, we got rid of Brandon Jones and Elliott. So, I mean, that's 2 safeties that left. Xavier Howard left. Baker left. Yeah, I mean, I guess I see it. I guess you're right. But yeah, the combine starts tomorrow. You guys excited? Who are you excited to see? Who are you excited to see in the combine? And yeah, don't get me wrong. All 3 of those contracts will be touched. I'm just saying we don't need to rush it because we aren't cap strapped. Yeah. But I mean, if there's someone that you want in free agency, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, you're right, Scotty. You're absolutely right. You're right. You got this, dog. Who you guys interested in seeing in Indy this week? Oh yeah. I seen that Moser. There's a lot of interest with Moser and the Pittsburgh Steelers. How you feel about that? Seeing that Moser might sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm still sad we had to let him go. I really am. I know we didn't use him much. I know he had the fumbles last year, but I really became a fan of Moser. I really did. I really became a fan of Moser. I think he'd be a nice fit for Pittsburgh. I think he's still got gas in the tank. Toronto's decision to take the league minimum, which should be around less than 2 million. He had 22.8 million cap hit in 2025. Would create nearly 12 million in cap space for us in 2025. I read it was around 14. Armstead allowed us to save a post-June destination. Chubb and Hill need to be worried. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I mean, that definitely does open up that does open it up for Hill to have to worry. Now they ain't got to wait to get the 15. What if they wait? If they waive him post June 1st, what is it, like 15 million? We only owe him 15 million. I'm interested in who you guys would like to see, who you guys are interested in to see in an Indy. Do you guys watch the combine? I used to check out like the skill positions in combine, but I'm really interested in seeing these offensive lineman drills this year. I mean, I always used to like the bench press, but I'm really curious to watch the offensive lineman this year in Indy. Tomorrow we're gonna run another mock draft. We'll make sure that it's set up proper and that hopefully we don't have another instance like we had today. Um, I'll try to do a little mock free agency right beforehand so we can say what our team needs are, and I'll go based upon what the salary cap numbers that you just came up with. The 33 million plus whatever we have at this current moment. So whatever that equals out to, I'll use that to sign some players, and then we can go into the draft tomorrow under the assumption that we spent this amount of money on these players and this is our team needs going into the mock draft. Do we let Phillips play on the 5th or should we be negotiating? See, I think, see, you could cut his cap number down too this year. I think you do offer him a contract extension, but I think you lowball the shit out of him. Thank you, Shake. I appreciate that. I mean, it wasn't too good of a show. The mock draft didn't work. The damn computer froze and crashed. Oh, man. A lot of bad things happened today, but I appreciate that, Shake. I really do. Yeah, I would offer shit. I would offer Jalen a real. It wouldn't be a long term deal. It maybe be 2-3 years, 15 million a year. You know, top end pass rushers get over 20. Yeah, I would definitely lowball them. I'd. It would be a lot of back end money. But yeah, I mean, I would negotiate with him. I heard Rampart say he was supposed to make 28.6 million in 2025. That means if he takes the league minimum, he would supposedly take 12 million or a little more, which means a 14 million reduction. That's what I seen too, Irving, is 14 million. I heard it was giving us 14 million in cash space, Irving. This Armstead deal. So yeah, the combine starts tomorrow. Skylar Thompson. I can't even believe he's still got a job somewhere. But we'll do a little mini mock free agency tomorrow, and then jump into a mock draft. And yeah, we'll talk about things, and give me a list of players I should be watching on the combine tomorrow. All right, give me a list of players I should be keeping an eye on at the combine tomorrow. I appreciate you all. 16 million. He took a minimum savings of 14. His total cap is 28 million. Thank you, Scotty, and everybody else that contributed to this cap discussion, because again, the salary cap is really tricky. It really is tricky. I mean, it's definitely something that is difficult to understand. So I appreciate everybody's help in the chat with that. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow at 10. Again, we'll do a little mock draft. Let me know players we should be keeping an eye on at the combine this weekend. We should be getting a lot of rumors and news coming out the draft or the combine this weekend, which is great. You know, these agents and team officials get together and start talking business. So we might get a lot of juicy info coming out of this weekend. And then before you know it, the draft will be upon us. Our free agency will be upon us. And we'll be making moves. We'll be moving and grooving, hopefully adding some key pieces to this football team that can help us win this year. But I appreciate you all. Any donations can be made to the Snapchat. Obviously, I'm not monetized on the YouTube yet. So, I mean, the Cash App is up there on the screen. All proceeds, they help with the channel. They help getting new stuff for the channel. And I use them for giveaways too. We're approaching 600 subscribers. I can't wait to get to that 1,000. We're gonna be doing huge giveaways. I got an all-white merino jersey, signed, autographed. I'm gonna be giving away. I got a Javon Howland autographed Orange Crush jersey. I got autographed Mike Tyson glove I might be giving out, and then cold hard cash. You know, we like to give away some cash. So I appreciate you all. I thank you all, and I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thank you all for stopping in. Thank you for your support. Love y'all. And fins up, baby. Peace.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I leave an impression and take a redemption, just kill no discretion. Your mind is a weapon, 11-11, it's time for progression. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet.